Majesty King Dr. Edmund Jakoro, CON, Yama Nembe, and leader of the delegation of our traditional fathers, members of the Delta State Executive Council, gentlemen of the press. First, I would like to welcome our royal fathers to the Delta State Government House, and to let you know that I was informed this morning that we're coming, but unfortunately I already had two major programs lined up. One was on the launch of the yellow fever campaign, immunization campaign in the state, because only recently we had yellow fever outbreak in 2 of our local governments. So we launched the statewide campaign today. And secondly, one of my local government council chairmen sitting in office also wrote a book that was very important and still stands to be very important to us on resource dependence, violent conflict, and economic development in the Niger Delta. It's in line with what he did in his PhD thesis. So we just left that ceremony to this place. I'm sorry I came in late, but given 2 o'clock, I was not too sure how long that was. I had to break off from that place to come in here. So it's not in our character to keep our royal fathers waiting, so we apologize for that. But I'm glad that our royal fathers are here to talk with each other and to take decisions that are of importance both to the our royal fathers and to our nation, Nigeria. Because we do realize the importance in our nation, particularly in our various states and communities. We know that you're the bridge between the government and the people, and we do know that particularly in the Niger Delta, you have a lot of role to play in order for us to have some stability in the governance process, and that role is not something we can just gloss over. So I want to continue to thank our traditional rulers for all that they've been doing to ensure that we have peaceful kingdoms and that conflicts that arise are able to be settled as quickly as possible. And Delta State will continue to welcome our royal fathers anytime you need to meet in Delta State and across the Niger Delta area. But I also want to appeal that we must continue to keep ourselves united and strong, because our voices will be stronger in the polity of this nation. I'm not talking about party politics now. When we speak and the nation truly realizes that we are speaking as royal fathers of the region, not speaking on individual basis. So whenever we find opportunities to meet, we must come out to be able to address this nation on issues that are of importance, particularly to the South-South geopolitical region. Because when the governors continue to talk, and we have the voices of our royal fathers strongly supporting our views, I'm sure that this country, Nigeria, will continue to listen more to us. There is no doubt that there are inequities. There's no doubt about that. And we cannot continue to ignore this region. But the voices that will make a lot of impact will be the voices of our royal fathers spoken collectively. I want to also use this opportunity to thank those of us that were able to be at that meeting in Port Harcourt because of the way the meeting was actually summoned and the request that was made to control the numbers and the timing. Unfortunately, some of us were not able to be there. But I believe that that is just one of the processes that we have had in the past, we're having again now. But the discourse concerning the South-South geopolitical region is something that must continue, and it's something that we must continue to project. And to that extent, requesting that we quickly connect you to the Director General and leadership of the BRICS Commission, we will immediately do that. And I will also call the DG, Ambassador Keshu, to link up with you, because I think it's important. The collaboration is very important for the good of our people. Unfortunately, because of the kind of politics we play, we just find that many times we're not able to get the best people in the Nigeria. There's this tendency in Nigeria that the domestic politics comes in, and before you know, they actually tend to move in to try to divide us. But we have agreed that, particularly after the meeting, that the need for us to unite the more, the need for us to collaborate with our people the more, is very important. So young politics, they truly know that we are one people and we cannot be divided on issues that pertain to our development, issues that would bring some uplift amongst our people in the South-South geopolitical region. It's also a prayer, even as part of the issues that were raised at that Niger Delta, at the meeting that we had in the South-South, that there's a need to actually provide some form of constitutional role for our royal fathers, and I think it's something we need to drive. Because if, to a large extent, they have been recognized at the various, in their various states, and there's some resource collaboration, no matter how minimal it is, between the government and the traditional fathers, and realizing the role that our traditional rulers play in engendering peace. It is important that a place is actually provided for them in the constitution of this country. So we'll continue to support all such moves and hope that in the next amendment of the constitution that we are able to do something to truly ensure that that role is played. I want to plead with you, Your Royal Majesties, that in the politics of this nation, it's not only about the presidency and the governors. When we find ourselves in the across the nation, we must continuously drum it very strongly about the injustice that is going on in our Niger Delta area. Most people don't tend to understand it when we're talking about injustice. All they need to tell us is that, 13% are being given 13%. And unfortunately, our people don't even understand it too. They allow themselves to be used to begin to draw the effect of 13%, what are you doing with it? So they tend to pitch us against the governors, forgetting truly that there is an 87% that is being distributed, which is a larger one. Even the 13%, many times, we'll find that because of the failure of transparency, what we get is far, far less than the 13%. Yes, I agree that governors should be accountable. We do agree. I think any government is not directly accountable to the people. The people have the right to rise up, and they know what to do with such a government. But our people, when they want to speak, they should be able to draw attention more to what is going on. Are we getting a fair share of that 87% that is being distributed, for which the federal government itself does have a major chunk of that money? Are we getting a fair share? We need to be able to change the narrative and the discourse in such a manner that our people don't just keep on running to Abuja. What they do there is to try to criticize Niger Delta sons and Niger Delta governments rather than asking for truly a fair share of what it is due us from the federal level. We just hope that that is something that will get ourselves engaged in. Because I believe that the Niger Delta area does deserve more than we are getting at the moment, not only in terms of the derivation, but we do deserve more in terms of projects, in terms of various forms of development efforts that are being put up together. Yes, there's been an attempt by the presidency, there's no doubt, to try to address the issues of transparency in the administration of the 13%, but we're hoping that that yields results, because we do know that there's been a lot of shortchange, and that's why recently the Revenue Mobilization Allocation Fiscal Commission was asked to look into the past and to see where the shortchange has come. To that extent, Mr. President has really done well by at least causing an investigation into the revenue shortfalls that ought to have come to the Niger Delta. And we are hopeful that the actions will eventually be taken to pay back the monies that have been established to be owed the various Niger Delta states. So I want to thank you, sirs, for coming to Delta State, and hope that working collaboratively, we are able to advance the cause of our people, both now and in the future. And I wish for those of us that travel down from other states, and even those our fathers and our leaders in Delta State, that as you return back to your various kingdoms, that God will lead you and be kind to you and kind to your people, and that God will continue to empower you to enable us to live in peace as a people and help to advance the cause of our people for the betterment of the future of our children. I welcome you once again.